Welcome to episode 135 of the Horror Dads podcast. We are joined, as we normally are annually, by our good buddy Matty Tobin for Hidden Horror Gems Part 4. I can't believe we're here already, but
Four.
Matty, what's up, dude?
What's up, my dudes?
Man,
Matty, you're one of our favorite guests of all time. We'll do this 100 more times. So,
yeah,
welcome again.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen. It's always good to see your beautiful faces.
dude.
Hell yeah. So, we haven't seen you since Horror Hound, right? This past year?
What a great night that
March.
was.
Dude.
How much
The
fun did
best.
we
That
have?
was
Karaoke.
Justin,
Karaoke,
singing Teenage Dirtbag, like closing
Oh.
the place out, all of us cheering him on.
Yeah.
Man, so good.
Ghoulish Gary
Fantastic.
Pullen singing Mother.
Dude,
Oh.
Gary,
He crushed it. It was just one of the best times of my life. Yelling, screaming.
he also crushed that. I was like,
Dude.
you need me to brush your hair while you're singing the song, man?
Yeah.
Because I will. Like, whatever you need.
Yeah. No, you guys, hanging out with you guys, our Canadian crew, we call you. It's the best. And we just love hanging out with you guys, talking to you. Happy to have you here. And we're going to discuss, 9 movies.
Yes, sir.
And before we do that, we're going to get into our normal intro stuff that Matty always joins us on. I'm sure you're, this is old hat for you now, Matty. So we'll do the been watching, buying, what we're all wearing. And then we'll get into the good stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
we for sure will. So before we do that, though, Matty, again, thank you. Jamie mentioned we're going to talk about 9 films. Each of us selected 3, and these are hidden horror gems. So we got our pickaxe, we sharpened it up, and you're digging through the dirt,
Oh, here
trying
we
to
go.
scrape through, get the rock out of the way. Is that something sparkly down there? Didn't know it was down there. Look what I got, a hidden gem.
Ugh.
Got 9 of them. Been practicing that
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah, I
So
can tell.
here we go. All right. So, horror news. Jamie, anything news-wise that you want to mention before we jump into our Sanders stuff?
Man, I don't know. I keep forgetting about the news. I'm the one who came up
You're
with
the
this
one
idea.
can't
I
practice
know.
fucking
I know.
prompts to us.
How about you go ahead with the news? I'll think of something that I got.
I mean, my news was going to be about a movie that came out middle of last month that I
Okay.
haven't watched yet, but
Yeah.
I believe you have.
All right.
Maddie, I don't know if you have yet, but the new VHS Halloween, have you guys checked that out?
It came out
No.
Friday.
Yeah. Friday? Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Oh,
So, Maddie, you've not seen it? Have
yes.
you? Did you check it out?
Yeah, I did.
How was it? Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
For me, it's a thumbs down.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. So, first of all, let me ask you this. Are you a VHS fan beyond the first, 2? Like, beyond and 80s and 90s?
I'll be real about it. I love the first 2
Mhm.
and I love the idea.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't make it through all
Yeah.
of any of the other ones.
I think I sit at the exact same spot where
Yeah.
I appreciate the idea. I love that different actors or different directors, different writers get a shot here.
Yeah.
I hate to shit on that in any way. I would just say that they don't always land for me. This one didn't really land at all.
Yeah, this is the one that you should land, I guess.
Yeah, this was the one I was really fucking excited about. My wife was like, last night, she was like, "Do you want to put something on after the kids went to bed?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." So I've been waiting for this because it came out yesterday at some point. I was like, as soon as I get done with work, I want to watch this. So I put it on. I didn't even tell her what I was putting on. We get like halfway through, and she's like, I have to be honest, I fucking hate this. And I was like, I knew you would. That's why I didn't even give you a chance here. And then it ends, and I was like, man, the only good thing now is that I don't ever have to watch this again. So that's where I stand. It didn't hit for me at all.
Yeah.
But for some people, I'm sure it will. So
All right. Well,
there you go.
Since you didn't prep any news, let's just jump to what we've been watching. So,
Okay.
Jamie, you just hit on VHS Halloween.
I also watched our buddy John Curran, Midwest Villain on Instagram. He loves Larry Fessenden like we do. And he keeps telling me, like, you need to watch Blackout, man. You need to watch it. Blackout, Blackout, Blackout. So I watched Blackout finally. It's streaming for free. It didn't hit for me. I love Larry Fessenden.
Is he the lead in it, or did he direct?
I don't even think he's in it. I think he wrote and directed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a werewolf film. But for me, I don't know. There's so many good werewolf films out there.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make a new one, it's got to really fucking bring
Yeah.
something new to the table or hit really hard. I
Right.
didn't really feel like it did either. Maybe when I rewatch it, I'll appreciate the writing. But this time, it just didn't land for me, unfortunately.
All right. Well, so Jamie's in a bad mood. He doesn't like anything. Maddie, you got anything you've been watching that you have
No
enjoyed?
doubt.
It's tough. In the horror genre, not a lot comes to mind right now. I mean, it's weird. I think around this time every year, I always, or at least when the next season is coming, I always completely rewatch Stranger Things from the beginning. I actually like. I love that show. I think it's so perfect in so many ways.
Dude,
We
agree.
So geared up for this
Totally.
final season. I just wrapped watching it again. I don't know. This might be like my 4th or 5th time all the way through
Yeah.
the show, which is an undertaking. but it's good because that's something that I can put on while I'm working because I've seen it so many times. But it's like definitely gets me in the mood to see the new season. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
really
just so
excited for
nice to
that.
have, like, to have on. It's like a
Yeah,
Dude,
comfort
it is. Yeah.
big
yeah.
time.
Do you have a favorite season, Maddie?
The
I
last
know
one,
that's hard.
season 4.
Really?
Season
Yeah,
4
I
is the
I
best.
just a super emotional season. Definitely a tearjerker for me. So, but I love it. I love
Oh,
the score, the musical, direction, the whole idea that I think I essentially read somewhere that the Duffer Brothers basically made that season be as close to like the lore and like sort of vibe of Nightmare on Elm Street that they could in case they never got a chance to make their own version of a Nightmare on Elm Street because they're like, I don't know, we don't know what the future holds. Let's just make like a tribute to it. I think I read that somewhere. Don't quote me on it, but I don't
man.
know where I would have just made that up from. But
Well, they got Robert Englund in there, so
I'm
yeah,
fine
right.
with it if you did make
yeah.
that up.
Yeah. So I like that aspect of it too. But also, I just remembered I saw Weapons, and
Nice.
Shit,
What'd you
yeah.
think, dude?
dude, one of the best theater experiences I've had in a long time. Like, I think the last time, and we talked about this on, I think maybe the last Hidden Gems when I picked the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I mentioned how like that was an insane theater experience. Like people standing up and screaming and yelling and laughing and like retching and this had a very similar, theater experience. It was a packed house and yeah, you just felt it was just felt good. It was a good experience in the theater. Great, great.
Yeah.
What did you guys
Nice,
think?
dude.
I also loved it. My theater experience was a normal theater experience. I was gonna say I feel like horror fans in general should always see movies with other horror fans, like true
Mm,
horror fans, because there's nothing like that. Like just like the nods and the subtle things that everyone gets and
Yeah.
will wink at each other and shit, even through a dark theater. That's the type of stuff that you only get really in a certain crowd. And I feel like I didn't have that crowd when I went, but I love the movie regardless. John, have you seen it yet?
I still have not seen it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
dude,
Yep.
So the thing with John is like when it comes to streaming to rent, it'll come for $20, like when it's new, and then it'll be like $26 to buy. And John will never rent.
I mean,
He's
at
like,
that
and
point,
which I agree. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna rent for 20, you might as well buy the motherfucker for 26. And
yeah,
that's where
yeah.
John sits. But
'cause it's a
John also that
$6
like
movie.
$6 will sway you from watching it in general. Like, well, I would rent it for 20, but I have to buy it for 26. I'm not ready to do that quite yet, so I'm going to hold off. And I think that's where
It's
we're
gonna
at
be
right
on
now.
AMC, on TBS, and
It's actually coming to HBO Max like this month, I think. So just
all
hold
right.
off.
Well,
You're good.
at this point, I'll
Yeah.
just wait.
But it's fucking incredible, I think.
Well, that's awesome.
One of the best.
Watch it with Jamie when you go to watch it. It's a fun movie
Yeah.
to watch with somebody.
There you go. I'll fall asleep.
I got
John and I can only coexist after the kids go to bed or
Yeah.
when we podcast. And either way, I typically drink too many beers and then pass out as soon as my eyes like blink. I'll blink and then be asleep. You know what I mean?
like, all right, Jamie, I made popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh, you're sleeping. All right. Well,
We
gonna
did
head
that
home
with
now.
we had a bunch of people over one night. They all went to bed. John and I were the only ones left. And we were like, all right, buddy. It was like 1:30 in the morning and John's like, should we rent Clown in the Cornfield? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, well, it's 10 to rent, 18 to buy. Let's just buy it. So
I'm gonna spend 10. You may as well spend 40.
So he buys it. I had to have lasted, but I don't even know if I made it to the opening credits, dude. It was like I remember falling asleep in the chair.
Pretty sure I watched the whole movie too.
Yeah.
You also did this to me with the Poughkeepsie tapes, which
I'll
I
do
will
this
never
everywhere.
forgive you about. Because holy shit, I had to watch that
You had to drive home too.
movie by myself. Yeah, and then I'm in my car, like, well, hopefully a police officer doesn't pull me over and then handcuff me and put me in their trunk.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what that movie does to you. All right, so watching for me, I just have gone headfirst into the season. So from a new movie standpoint, I'm not even looking at that right now.
Yeah.
I just finished my patio. I got the projector out there
Oh,
every night.
nice.
Yeah, dude, I bring my kids out. Like last night, in fact, as a family, we watched Halloween for the first time. My kids had not seen it cover to cover before. I only screened like 2 parts of it. Pretty much, I just skipped the intro and then the "Can I Get Your Ghost,
Yeah.
Bob" section, and
Yeah.
beyond that, like they saw the whole movie.
Mhm.
So, dude, we've been doing it.
Cool.
It's been great watching old Goosebumps, watching Halloween. So we're getting into the season and
Nice.
we're doing it right this year. I feel really
That's
good about
awesome.
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What about you? Been buying anything new, Jamie? Anything you picked up recently?
Not for myself. Mostly like we did the Spirit today with the kids. picked up shit for them, let them buy stuff. Rylan got this awesome hoodie with like it's a Jason Voorhees like Friday the 13th hoodie, and then the hood itself comes up and zips down to be Jason's mask. Dude, it's fucking awesome. The kids were both fucking loving it. We wore it into another store, and this woman who I don't even know if she knew
That's
what the hoodie
incredible.
was. She was like, "Boy, you sure do love camping, don't you?" My son with this fucking hoodie on. I was like, "Does she understand what this is? I can't tell."
Also, was it Ralph from Friday the 13th based off of going to Camp Blood, ain't you? Is that how she was yelling at you?
Oh man,
Yeah. Anything from Fright Rags you're going to buy?
dude, Matty, I have to say, dude. So when I saw that you did this shirt with Fright Rags,
Yeah.
my first thought was these really are two of my favorite like things that exist in the horror land, like in the horror art world, are Fright Rags and our boy Matty. So to see you guys collab on this was honestly fucking incredible. I just love shit like that. I love seeing people coexist and work together in the industry. It's one of my favorite things. So seeing you work with Fright Rags has been a highlight of my week for sure.
Maddie, is this the first time since you did that basket case design with him years and years ago, right?
My God, dude, I got my start. I got my let's say I cut my teeth working with Fright Rags. Really, like
Wow.
I think a first time we worked together was probably 2000 and man 7,
Mm-hmm.
2006 or 7, long time ago. And I did this is this hilarious design of David from Lost Boys holding a decapitated Edward Cullen from Twilight design. Like, and I was so new to like applying illustration. Yeah, applying illustration
I
to
love it.
like merch. Like I've done a lot of like graphic design based stuff, but you know, it's the early days for me of that. Like for doing illustrated t-shirts and stuff. So, but yeah, I worked with Ben and the crew over at Fright Rags for a long time, for years and years in the beginning of my career. So yeah, it was nice to kind of like, yeah, because we don't work together that often now, which is a shame. And I hope that this, you know, for no other reason than just life, you know.
Yeah.
But we're still good friends. I see that crew all the time, and we used to go to dinner, and that's where this idea for the shirt actually came up. We were out to dinner in, where was it? Was it Ohio or was it Texas? I can't remember. I think it might have been Ohio. But anyways, we were all out to dinner, and I was talking to Chris from Fright Rags, and we were just talking about potential ideas, and Silver Bullet came up, and then boom, I had the whole thing in my head. Then yeah, it's cool to finally, you know, bring to life.
Love the design. Love that movie. Love Fright Rags.
Love that movie too. Yep.
Love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all there. You been buying anything new, Maddie, in terms of anything horror related, like merch, Halloween decorations, anything like that?
You know, not again, like Jamie said, not for me specifically, but for the kids. Usually, anytime I go away and I do, you know, a convention, whether it's like Monsterpalooza or Horror Hound or Texas Frightmare weekend, you know, Dad's always, I got to come back with something, right? I can't leave for
Yeah.
close to a week and not come back with something. But I actually love that, and I get to kind of hunt around because a lot of these conventions have really, you can find basically any horror toy that you can imagine, but sometimes you also find like vintage ones. And my son Sawyer really likes sort of like niche stuff. So I think the last time I came back, I got him the NECA Ultimate Creature, the Black Lagoon, which he loves.
And then when we saw you at Horror Hound, you were looking at some of those.
Yeah, so that might have been
Yeah.
where I got that. They all kind of bleed together sometimes in my head. But then I also picked him up vintage action figures from the Addams Family cartoon series from the 90s, which
No
is
way.
like, he lost his mind. He's like, what? Like, where did you find this? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, so those are some things like, I usually just picking up stuff for the kids, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, oh, dude. That's
Speaking of that, I put
amazing.
Adam's Family on for my kids last night because they had never seen it.
Which
And
one? Like
Really?
The
Raul Julia one?
yeah, the original Raul Julia one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which when I was a kid, when I was like, whenever that came out, I don't know if I was 12 or whatever the fuck age I was. That was like my movie. I fucking like
dude.
friends would come over and they'd be like, "This again," you know, like I just wouldn't.
And it's
let
because
it
it
go.
like it allowed you to like it was a mainstream film that made it acceptable to acknowledge that like people could have weird interests.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
was a gateway horror film for sure.
Big
Yeah.
time, dude.
Yeah. Dude, I got my first copy of that from McDonald's.
Yeah. Yes.
You remember
That
that?
was back when merch was just
That's like an incredible
fast
Yeah, I
food
think it came
thing to
with,
say.
what was the bird? It was like the Happy Meal for adults, the Arch Deluxe or something. Was it a big extra? It was one of those.
Man.
But if you got the Happy Meal, it either came with like a lottery ticket, like a scratch, or
Yeah.
you could buy like a VHS or something. And I remember there was
Wow.
and then there was Wayne's World. whatever, it was like 93. So whatever was coming out in 93. And I used to have the old VHS. I kept it for many years of Addams Family. And on the back, it actually had the McDonald's logo, like printed on the card sleeve. So it was like an exclusive McDonald's release.
Wow,
That's
dude.
honestly amazing. Like,
Yeah.
You could probably like, I don't know.
we should
Like
bring that
be the
culture.
hero on eBay.
I was
with
gonna
that.
say, bring that culture back.
Yeah, Jesus.
Adult Happy Meals.
It's incredible.
You want a Switchblade and a fifth of Mad Dog 2020? Get your adult Happy Meal,
Speaking of Burger King, they're doing like boo buckets this year, right?
dude. All like Home Depot
Yeah,
is.
Home Depot. Yeah.
What the hell?
I asked you, is it a 5-gallon bucket?
Home Depot. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Right now, if it is, I will. That
Dude,
will
I would
be.
fucking fill my gravel, like filling gravel in my 5-gallon bucket of like Dracula.
I use that Ace Hardware bucket. I use that Ace Hardware bucket for my kids softball
Yes,
team
yeah.
bucket. I will quickly switch to
There
that
you
one
go.
if that's what it is from Home Depot. Man. All right, so I've been eyeing up. I didn't pull the trigger yet, but I follow this page. Speaking of baseball, softball, there's this
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
baseballism.
Yeah.
Dude, that
I don't know
that
where
like
this ad came
Halloween-
from, but yeah,
I fell right into it. It
of course
sold
you
it
did.
directly to me.
You love those ads.
Oh, dude, it's great. But like I was looking at it, so basically, Matty, it's like it's designed for my exact scenario, which is like there's a dad and a kid, and the dad coaches the kids team, and it's like match your shit together and buy things you don't need related to softball. But
Yeah.
it's all like pumpkin themed and like spooky. Dude, it like legitimately it looked. They used an iteration of the Goosebumps logo instead of their actual logo. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
dude,
Yeah.
I was like, we were last night. I was asking my wife. I was like, "What's my budget over here for me and Luna to get outfitted for the next like 3 weeks? We're gonna be playing softball
Yeah.
Yeah.
till it's too cold." But yeah, I've been looking that up, and I will be heading to Fright Rags here soon for some Silver Bullet as well.
Hey, so I know our last one is Family Antic, but when Maddie's here, I always like to talk a little bit of music. You want to do what we've been listening to?
Yeah, Maddie, what have you been listening
Yeah.
to? Why don't you start?
Yeah, well, I mean, before we started, we were chatting a bit about music, and like, I feel like this year's been really, really like good for music, like for new music. I'm just gonna pull up my phone here so that I can like remember everything. First off, and you actually commented on the back. Yeah, the new Deftones record, Private Music, is like the best Deftones record since Diamond Eyes. I think it's so good.
So good. I liked Ohms, but it crushes Ohms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple others that I've been listening to. They're not necessarily from this year, but like you guys listen. If you check out the Callous Cowboys,
But
Yeah, why are
dude,
they
what
so
an
good?
interesting record. That's one of the more interesting records I've listened to recently.
It is so technical and
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah,
Interesting is the best way to describe it. It's like I was so turned off by the name,
Mm.
and then I heard it, and I was like, "Wow, this is like so thoughtful
fair.
and smart."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good.
yeah. So their new album, I Don't Want to See What Happens, incredible. Stephen Wilson Jr. His album Son of Dad. It's like a 22 track debut album, and it's incredible. It's like bluegrass country, but like with a lot of really sort of 90s undertones, like grunge undertones. The new Ethel Cain record, Willoughby Tucker. That's a great, fantastic record. Oh, and actually, that Stephen Wilson record came out like 2 years ago, but he just dropped an EP of cover songs, and he does Hunger Strike by Temple of the Dog,
Wow.
Tonight by the Smashing Pumpkins. What's the other one on there? Something in the Way by Nirvana, which is a fantastic cover. And then Clark Gable, I think that's by Postal Service or something. But anyways, yeah, that's literally all that's been cycling through my years as of late.
Nice.
Those albums. What about
Nice,
you guys?
dude. It's a great mix. What about
I've
you, Jamie?
also been heavy on the Deftones album, and then also some of my favorite bands ever released music this week. AFI just dropped a new album, Silver Bleeds, whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
But dude, it's one of those where I've gotten really into post-punk, like 80s post-punk in my 40s for some reason. I chose until now to get really into that. This album is like post-punk galore. So it's a different direction for AFI for sure. It's kind of one that they've been hinting at, and this time they just kind of went all in.
Mhm.
And I'm glad they did. It's like, if you love Depeche Mode, if you love The Cure, if you love East Post Punk, you'll love this record. And then one of our
Yeah.
favorite,
Like those sort of new wave undertones, like
yeah, there's definitely some, they've always dabbled with synth, especially like Black Audio, him and Jade. But
yeah, Black Audio. Yeah, I remember that record.
yeah, but this one kind of leans full
Yeah,
into
man, I forgot
that
about
direction. Check it out, man. It's really it's
Yeah.
really good. It's not the AFI that you're familiar with, And then one of our favorite bands of all time, Lower Definition, they just released a new single called God Mode, which is fucking
What?
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like last
What?
2 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah, dude. And
Oh,
it's
is it a
it's in,
fucking new song? Really?
yeah. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
incredible.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to jump on that as soon as this is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. And then another band that kind of disappeared for a minute, a lot like Birds, and they came back with Kurt Travis, and their new
Really?
single's out. And dude, it's fucking awesome. They have
I
a new
didn't even know that this is news. to
yeah,
me.
they have a new screamer, and Kurt Travis is back, and it's really really.
So
it's
that
a great
guy's gone
single.
though?
Yeah, I think that last record, which was amazing,
That
the
was
one with like no screaming at all. Yeah,
after his mom died?
Yeah. I think that was his last record with them, and
Man.
so now we're kind of back to a different. But yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
Dude. Well, I guess I got to do this too. So, Many Eyes, Keith Buckley's new project. They just dropped another 4-song EP, I think, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we went to Cleveland.
And we found it on the way home.
Yeah.
That was the night I forgot my wallet. And,
Yes.
and you had to buy me everything for about a
Right,
3-hour
yeah.
period. It was really
That's
great.
fine.
Forgot his wallet, he says.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it actually was funny because, in fact, speaking of
I need
music,
$70 worth of gas. I forgot my wallet.
Maddie, we just played a show last weekend for the first time in like 12 years.
Like 16 years for me. Yeah.
12 for me. So our friends that live in Cleveland are the kind of the core of this. So they have like a practice space and whatnot. So we were going up there like once a week.
That's amazing, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so that was last week. We did this show. Our buddies they're in a new metal cover band, which is incredible. Justin's in it. And they just do new metal cover songs like radio hits, essentially Power Man 5000, all the fucking great new metal hits.
I love it.
They're incredible. They're all just the best.
It has no business sounding as good as it does, because
It
it's
honestly
like
doesn't.
you guys have put so much talent and thought into this, and it's like these are covers of these dumbass songs that we grew up listening to in 9th grade,
like Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
and they're perfect. They're so good. It's unreal how good they are.
And so they were gracious enough to have us on this show, and so we got to play a show, and it was fucking awesome. But we've been traveling back and forth to Cleveland to practice. And on the way back, we discovered Many Eyes released this EP, and we were rocking it out, and it was fucking great. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I like the first release they did. I thought it was pretty good for like a debut record. I haven't heard the new stuff yet though.
Yeah, I think it dropped honestly like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's heavier than.
It's better to me. To me, it's a better record. Because that first one was kind of rushed out. Like, let's get this fucking out, which they needed to do, I think. And this one is a more, you can tell it's matured a little bit. So
yeah, you just put a stake in the ground kind of thing.
Yeah. You have to do that. Yeah. Especially with the way things went down. It was like, all right, you guys are doing your thing now, which is fine. I'm going to
totally get it.
Yeah.
I've also been beating the shit out of that newest Sleep Token album that came out this year. That band there's a criticism that their production quality is like too overproduced, which I
don't care anymore about that.
But that's very intentional. Like that, the dude that sings in that band is so good and so dynamic, and just like he can do whatever he wants with his voice, which is incredibly wild.
Yeah.
And I really, really have a fondness for that band.
Yeah, and to me, there's a place for music that's overproduced, that's intentional. Like that shit that I do is overproduced. It's over.
And that's the idea.
It's the idea.
Part of the process.
I love having that. There's a time when like I didn't want that, especially bands that I grew up with. It was like, I don't want this to be overproduced.
Yeah.
No, I'm just totally over it. Like if that's what you want to do, if it sounds fucking great, then I'm good with it. If you want to do backing tracks live, please do.
Yeah.
If it helps the show be better and helps you sound better, please do whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
I'm over the pretentiousness nature of fucking music and just everything. I'm over it.
No, it's not.
It's easy to be a cynic.
Yeah. I'm just done with it.
Yeah.
And I get people being like that, especially younger people. That's just kind of the nature of it. But like once you grow up, it's like just grow the fuck up, everybody.
And beyond writing a song for like a person specifically, like, hey, I wrote this for you, child or wife or husband or whatever. Beyond that, I truly do feel like you should not write music for anyone else.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Like it should be for yourself.
And
like
if
it should
people like
be a
it, they like
reflection.
it. Yeah.
Precisely. So like the whole I'm especially getting older, get rid of all the shit of like, what are people going to think?
We don't care anymore.
Yeah. I'm beyond that in life. All right. Family stuff, family antic. Anything family wise that you guys want to share real quick?
Yeah. So I put on last night. So before I put on Adam's Family, I was browsing through like, what should I put on for the kids? And I forgot how I knew there were segments of this film that I shouldn't put on, But I was like, the first segment is fine, right? So I put on Tales of Halloween.
Yeah.
So I was
That's
like, well,
that's a misstep.
it's Halloween. So I put this on. I don't know if you remember the first segment. That's the Sweet Tooth segment where it's like, well, the kids ate too much.
Terrible
The
acting,
parents
too.
ate terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember. It's got the lead actress from the TV series of I Know What You Did Last Summer. The twin. She's
Oh.
in this first segment.
I definitely remember that from those two things I love so much, Jimmy.
But so I put it on. My youngest son fell asleep instantly. The oldest one is watching, and he's the one that hates horror. So I was like, oh boy, this might go over bad. So we get going, and he's kind of into the story. He's like, man, these people are pigs eating all this candy, blah, blah, blah. So then like the retelling of the story is fine. He's fine there. We get to the actual story, and then it gets to the point where like the two teenagers are like eating all the candy, and they're like, oh God, I'm like, no, I'm not feeling well. And then the guy comes up from behind, Sweet Tooth, and he's like, trick or treat. And like that's where my son was like, ah! Like fucking lost it, dude. And they show him, and my wife was like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm sorry, totally forgot what this exactly was. So I had to shut that the fuck off.
Empire Records, yeah.
But yeah, that's what happens when you're horror dad. Sometimes you just choose the wrong fucking movie.
Don't worry about the copier scene.
Yeah.
I already hit my family antic talking about watching Halloween as family yesterday. So, Matty, anything in your space you want to chat about real quick?
Spooky related, like it's so funny. My kids are still kind of at like that surface level of liking horror and just all things generally like spooky or Halloween. So like they're all about it, but it's still a sort of like curiosity to a point where like I don't know how. Well, actually, no, I do know how far is too far, and it's very little. So like even just like a Spirit Halloween, and they picked out their costumes for the year, and you can see like when they first go in, like all of them, all three of them, like no, we don't want to see those animatronics like at all. No way. None of that shit jumping out. Like, it's not happening. But they really want to go, right? And me and Amber are often like, okay, guys, but remember, like they're just giant toys. They're giant plastic toys, And I usually walk up to them and like shake the hand or something to sort of like, so they can see that barrier break. They're
disarm them.
Reality. But then, after a few minutes, like you can see them, it reminds me so much of me when I was a kid, going to like, Jumbo Video or Blockbuster or whatever, and like kind of like, doing that, like peeking down the horror aisle and then kind of like walking away. But then, each time you go back to the video store, you get a little bit closer, a little bit more brave. And so I noticed that this time. So we must have been there for like an hour and a half. It was taking forever for them to find what they wanted. But it was good because like the more they were around it, saw other kids like setting the animatronics off, then by the end of it, they were doing it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's good. A little bit of like, growth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, dude, totally.
Every year it grows more. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So I usually try to like, just be mindful of like certain things like that might be too scary for them. They all gravitate towards that stuff. Like my whole office is like horror stuff everywhere in it. And like, even this time of the year, like Ava, my daughter, she loves that. Like even the sort of like geared toward like sort of gateway horror stuff, like the musical, like the Disney musical Zombies, like she loves that. And like, all that kind of, anything that's a little bit more on the side of whimsy horror too, they seem to really like. But yeah, I mean, they're still pretty young, so we'll see.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah, they'll get there.
For sure. And what's everyone wearing before we jump into our episode?
Yeah.
We'll end with that. What do you got on there, Jamie?
So I'm doing this was a hand-me-down from you. This is one when like you started working out and your shoulders got a little too big.
Yeah.
And you were like, dude, this large is turning into like I need an extra large. So I'm going to give you my large. And then as I've gotten fatter, I've grown into the large. Not that you're fat, you know what I mean.
As I've gotten
you're bigger
fatter.
bone than me. But this is the Halloween Kills, I believe, right? 2018 maybe at the end, or Kills.
Yeah, the rotting boogeyman design. Yeah.
So this is from Cavity Colors.
Right?
But is that a part 6? Because it's the stuff that's Thorn.
No, I think it's 2018 or Kills.
Yeah, I think it was in that timeline. Yeah. That's a great tee. Matty, what are you wearing? Is that a Rucking Fountain tee?
No, this is not horror today, boys. It's a 9 Inch Nails shirt. It's the
nice
Tron Ares SDCC exclusive shirt. So it's got like sort of like new version of their logo and then like a new version of the back. My buddy Jeff from Rocking Fountain actually picked it up for me when he was at SDCC. So
wow,
nice. You got a horror hat on. For those that are not watching on video here, you got a Texas Chainsaw hat. So where'd you get that?
Oh yeah, this is I love this hat. I wear this hat constantly. It's odd the amount of compliments I actually get on it. Like I'll be at a Starbucks and some random woman would be like, "I like your hat." I was actually at when I was at Disneyland. I was wearing at Disneyland. I went to the Starbucks in downtown Disney, and the lady who's like guiding the line inside, it was like an older lady. She's like, "I really like your hat. That was a scary movie." And I'm like, she's like, "But it was good." And I'm like, "Yeah."
She's like, "Do you remember when Christopher Robin?" And you're like, "Oh, well, we're not talking about the same thing." Yeah, yeah. That is a sweet hat, though. Where'd you get that?
This is actually, it was a gift from my buddy Chase, who like, how would you describe it? He like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the brand, like its actual IP identity, I think more is like his IP. So
Nice.
whenever we see him, we always do like, all of us artists, and he's a graphic designer as well. Does a lot of their designs, and they're fantastic. But whenever a bunch of artists get together, we're always like swapping stuff. So I snagged this from him.
Man,
Oh, that's a great
love
hat.
that.
Yeah, and I have on my my vintage kind of Scream T-shirt here. It's the original movie cover.
Yeah.
I love
with
it.
the Scream
I
logo.
love that.
I don't even know where I got this. I've just had
I
it a
think it
long
was like
time.
Old Navy or something.
It was like one of those like
Just like a rare find.
a rare
Yeah.
kind of. It was a brand like
All
that.
right, well, my wife's dragging me here.
Yeah, it's one-
American Eagle. Oh,
exactly.
fun.
Like
Scream.
yeah. All right, well, we're gonna shop today. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
should we open a credit card?
All right.
They got a whole line here. Yeah.
Maddie, speaking of music and speaking of Nine Inch Nails, that Tron score that they did was fucking incredible.
But yeah, I know, right? So good.
Yeah. So good.
So good.
Yeah, if you're a score person or a score fan, even if you're not into Tron, the Nine Inch Nails score for that movie is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
If you like electronic music.
All
I
right.
do.
Well, a couple
Here we
quick
go.
plugs before we
Yeah.
get into our episode. So we do have a Patreon for those that are interested. You can head to patreon.com/horrordads, and we have a new patron to welcome, Steve Letkovich. And Steve, thank you so much for
Let's
joining.
go, man.
And we just migrated to there was an update to our platform for our order fulfillment. So basically he ordered some merch from us, and his for some reason, and many others did not, but his went to spam. So it was like 10 days before I even saw it. And I was like, oh my God, we are shit as humans. So I reached out to him. I was like, dude, I don't know why this has literally never happened, but your order went to spam. No others did. Sent him some extras in the care package, and then he joined our Patreon. Steve, thank you so much, man. We're grateful, and we already love you. So welcome to the clan. If you are interested, though, we do have a $5 tier, a $10 tier. You could be like Steve. You can join us on Patreon. We have a website, horrordads.com. You can grab merch like Steve and wait a million days to get it. Hopefully not like Steve, because
let's
been
not
fixed since
let's
then.
not spam them.
And last thing is we can be found everywhere on social media at Horror Dads, though Instagram is normally our primary channel.
And let's have Matty plug his too. Matty, what are your socials, bud?
Yeah, Matty.
Yeah, mainly just Instagram.com/Matt Ryan. And I got a website as well, worksofmattryan.com.
Yep. And if this is your first time meeting Matty or hearing Matty, he also was in an incredible band called Dead and Divine, one of our favorite bands of all time. Go check him out.
Yeah, you can find him everywhere you can find your music.
Yep.
All right. With that, did you guys sharpen your pickaxes?
Here we go.
Hang on. Just stay with me here. Get your leather gloves on, because you don't want these things. The last thing you want are blisters. Like right here, it hurts like hell.
Get out of here.
Okay, you get that pickaxe. We're going to dig deep. Let's go. Here we are. All right.
Here we go.
So before we talk movies, Matt, are you drinking anything over there, buddy? Does anyone want to talk about the beers they're drinking?
Yeah, so there's this local couple Toronto breweries called Blood Brothers and Bellwood's Brewery, and I picked this up specifically because I was like, oh, this would be cool to show on the podcast. But it's called Goblin's Trill Double IPA.
Oh, look at that artwork
Wow,
too.
dude.
Yeah, it's pretty
Man.
stellar artwork,
Oh, that little demon guy
Yeah.
with the moon above him.
Yeah.
Yeah, gold. Yeah,
Love it.
very
How's
nice.
the beer?
It's double IPA, but it's like a kind of citrusy hopsy beer, which is the kind that I like. I like it.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
God, I used to be able to drink like 14 of those. Now I have 2, and I'm like, my tummy hurts.
Yeah, they're strong, right?
Yeah.
Especially a double. Yeah.
Yeah, the doubles. I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I'm all about it. But now I'm like, you got Tums over there? Pepto Bismol here?
Bloated and
Yeah. That's what happens.
You have
now.
Alka-Seltzer?
All right, let's round robin. We got 9 films
Let's
we're going
go.
to talk about. So, Matty, as our guest, I know it feels counterintuitive, but we're actually going to allow you to go last because that way you'll have the very last movie to discuss. So,
Yeah.
Jamie, do you want to start us off?
I do, but what do you guys kind of deem
You want to talk
hidden gem?
criteria?
Yeah, well, like, do you have a criteria? Because I don't really have one.
Hang on, let me grab my pickaxe. I'll show you exactly what I
God
do.
damn it.
Is I head over there and
Let me put my leather gloves on to examine this.
You have to use the pickaxe remark for every movie we're about to discuss each time.
Yes, there you go. I just kind of, pick movies that I don't hear people talk about much.
Yeah, this is a relative concept, I guess.
Yeah, and to some, these might be super familiar films, but to others, they may have never heard of them.
Mhm.
My hope is always that maybe you, at the very most, have heard of it, but you don't hear about it much. It's not, it's not in the pantheon of horror circles generally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment for the criteria. I guess I have a similar approach to if it's not something that I've been super familiar with. We do that smug thing, right? Where it's like, oh, I have 150 episodes of a horror podcast, so I assume I've seen everything that matters, right?
Right,
Which
yeah.
is a ridiculous thing to say.
Yep.
But to an extent, like the highlights we've interacted with in some capacity, most likely by this point. So for me, I'm always like, what have I missed?
Yep.
Or what have I missed in the sense that like people talk about this, but it's not widely loved by many. So, and I didn't like it the first time I saw it, so maybe I missed something. Let me go back because someone recommended it. So that's kind of my general guideline, I guess.
Yeah. Maddie, do you have a criteria that you go by or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I think when we first started doing the show, it was kind of like, find the most possibly least known film you could think of, and like something that like could earn you some cred. But I think at the end of the day, it's just a film that has left a lasting impression on you. Do you know what I mean? And for like a number of reasons, like either so bad it's good, really good, except for like maybe this one thing maybe held it back, or it could just be really good and you just confused by why no one's talking.
Yeah.
There are so many horror films came out, especially around the 80s, that it just flew right under the radar. And some, it's so peculiar as to why. So I think it's important to sort of, bring those back up. Grab your pickaxe and dig them back up. And,
Maddie, now you're getting it, dude.
I agree.
I can't wait for
There you
Christmas
go.
morning when you're like, what's this box on my front porch? And I send you like the nicest dragon skin leather gloves and sharpest pickaxe imaginable with jewels inside. And you'd be like, creep.
I feel like I'm losing you, Maddie. He's riding the pickaxe too.
Just wait, you'll be doing it too.
All right, so we're going to get started with me. So shut the fuck up, John.
Is your first pick maybe from a year I was born?
With an axe? No, my first pick here, is it? Yeah.
Knew it.
So what I typically do is try to find one old. I always try to find one within the last few years here that I just missed. And then just whatever the fuck. But this is going to be my older one. And this is from 1987. And this is Zombie High.
Dude.
Zombie High.
What
This
a movie.
most notably has Virginia Madsen, who's an incredible actress and carries this fucking movie.
She really does.
If she wasn't in this movie, I find myself thinking many times, like, if she wasn't in this movie, I wouldn't even be talking about it. I might have shut it off by now. But she was so good. This movie is so fun.
Mhm.
Thank God she was in it to keep me going. And this movie gets really bad reviews on IMDb, like 4.3 out of 10, which is just terrible.
I still know what you did last summer has the same rating, I think.
Yeah. Well, they're both wrong. So
they're both great movies.
This is directed by Ron Link, written by Tim Doyle and a couple others. But this is a movie about like a college freshman that goes to school. She kind of leaves her boyfriend at home, but it's like this all boys school that for the first year they're letting girls in. So she's there with a couple friends. She discovers that the faculty is kind of operating kind of like on student brains to make them zombies of some sort. And you find out there's this nefarious reason that they're doing this. It's kind of like the faculty if aliens weren't involved.
Or like disturbing,
like in a roundabout way.
What's that, Matty?
kind of like disturbing behavior.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd
dude.
say closer
It's
to
a
that.
mix
Yeah.
between it's a mix between kind of those two films, sort of. Yes. It's more disturbing behavior. You're exactly correct.
Yeah, because the threat in disturbing behavior is less intelligent, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like the faculty, you're like, oh my God, we actually might be F because
Right.
there's intelligence here. Like the alternate intelligence is very intelligent, whereas disturbing behavior, you got like, what's his name, like Biff or Chuff.
Yeah,
or
there's a lot of
Chug or
flaws in
it's
that
like,
one.
oh, this is
Chug,
fucking Chug. Yeah, Chug.
yeah. But this one, just like from the friends that she has in college, which you love at first. I love her experience with like her roommates. Like that's like a great college experience, right? Like you have these different these different girls from different walks of life that all are coming together kind of to form this cool bond and friendship until things she has like this boyfriend back home who's being kind of a douche, which if anyone's been in college and like and you leave someone back home, like you understand that dynamic for sure. And so she's dealing with all these new things, right? She's a college freshman, so she's dealing with new friends, she's dealing with this boyfriend who kind of doesn't want to let go and is trying to kind of control her college experience, which isn't fair. And then she's also kind of falling for this teacher that she has who's too handsome.
So get the fuck out of here, guy.
Yeah, guy, what are
Sorry.
you doing? Like
Just
this is a different
stay
time. It's
away.
7, but and then meanwhile you have this sinister plot unfolding and bubbling underneath the whole time. But dude, the way that it kind of unfolds and everything goes, like so, I just watched this for the first time, so to me it was a true hidden gem, and I was just like, man. I think like you guys texted like 3 days after I watched this, and I was like, this is going on for sure, because it was a great time.
I honestly think that this is such a good film to leap into first, based on we were just kind of explaining what we think is a hidden gem. This is literally quintessential hidden gem.
Yeah,
because it's got so much going for it. I think there's just like, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, because it is period specific, it's like when it came out, like there's nothing that's like, well, this isn't of the era where like certain campiness and whatever wasn't in vogue in these films. But it's got humor. It's actually well written. I really like the dialogue a lot in this movie. I honestly think. Oh, and by the way, the fact that Sherilyn Fenn is in it,
dude,
Twin Peaks,
I
like
know.
who's just like I rarely see her in anything. So like to see her pop up, was
I
it's
know,
amazing.
and she's so striking.
So striking.
Dude,
She is.
I love her, and I love her in this movie too.
Yeah, fantastic. I think what might have been the sort of like, it's a term, not nail in the coffin, but like misrepresentation of this movie was the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Because Zombie High sounds very trauma, sort of like Traumaville type film, and this isn't that.
No, and it's on a high school
80s version of like a Scream meets Disturbing Behavior meets Faculty. Like it's a lot more self-aware. Do you know what I mean? Like it knows what it is, and I think that's why it's so good.
I agree.
There's definitely an intelligence to this movie, like that is not. It's not captured by the way it's branded, and I think personally, what I took away from this, I felt that was kind of the point, Jamie, to what you described of the place is going through a transition, right? So you've got what should be an all girls sort of situation, right? And then you have the influence of the teacher, you have the influence of the boyfriend back home, and everyone's trying to control this like young, strong female character. She's finding her way through the world. She's got this badass new roommate, right? And they've got their thing going. So like to me, it's that like those obstacles that you have to kind of jump over as a person that's like finding your way in the world and realizing like, oh, that's how things are done. Like, oh, that's pretty fucked up. Or like, I don't really like that or agree with that. Like, how do I respond to it? That was more like what I kind of took from this movie. I do, Matty, what you just described is a perfect way to encapsulate it, which is basically like this movie almost dumbs itself down to be more approachable, but is smarter, I think, and has more of a point than I think the average person might realize.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. This is a really good one, though, dude. And the first time I've ever seen it, I was not familiar with this movie.
Yeah. Again, I wasn't either. I also love that male friend that they have, the one who's like,
That's
hey, do you want to...
Paul Feige?
Yeah.
Right? Paul Feig?
Paul Feig. That sounds right.
He directed like, he directed Bridesmaids, didn't he?
Oh my God.
Did he really?
I think Bridesmaids, and then he did the Ghostbusters movie nobody likes, but I still enjoyed it.
With Melissa McCarthy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's great.
God.
His comedic timing is good. Like it's really good.
Yeah, he was
laugh out loud moments in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked the dynamic with him and how he kind of approached at first like with a love interest, but then she quickly shot him down. He's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm down to just be friends, like it didn't get creepy. Yeah.
Like totally. That was exactly how it happened.
which I love. I love that you can like quickly accept that and move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like, let's be study partners now. Like I love that and like nothing creepy came from that, because sometimes that can go a more nefarious way. So I like that it didn't.
Yeah.
So this was Zombie High from 1987.
Yeah, dude, nice, very nice. So I've been scrambling over here trying to figure out what happened to two of my pieces of paper. They're just missing.
Oh,
But luckily I have my notes here. So I'll jump to my first pick now that we've heard yours, Jamie. So I'm going 10 years later to an anthology film called Campfire Tales from 1997. So first off, holy cast
yeah.
in this movie.
Honestly,
I did not know this movie existed until I probably found it like 6-7 months ago. And the moment I watched it, I was like, hidden gems. I added it to the list. This was the first movie
Yeah.
I had picked, and I watched this for the first time like 6-7 months ago. So the wraparounds in though and whatnot. So 1950s, there's an instance you've got a couple parked in a scenic spot. They're doing their kissing. They hear about a madman on the radio. So you have like your vintage kind of these throwback. And then
Jimmy Marston.
dude, so
Mhm.
handsome. Speaking of disturbing behavior, right?
Yeah.
It's like also
No, that guy doesn't age.
no, he eats the livers of baby like elk or something. Something rejuvenates that man's aura to be what it is. It's crazy. It truly is. This movie just it's not serious. It's a
No.
lot of fun though, and I was shocked by how much I felt captivated by it because
Yeah.
it's not serious and there's not a huge point to it, but it is just like a fun ride. The stories, you have your I also just love anthologies, so I'm surprised that the world hasn't like this movie hasn't found its way to me, like, which is an obnoxious thing to say, but at this point, like,
I think honestly it comes down to streaming.
yeah,
And
truly,
this is one of those movies that, like, had it not been available streaming widely for us,
yeah,
I may still to this day have never seen this movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
But our main stories that are broken down though are the RV, which I just mentioned. You got your
With
internet,
the dude from Office Space.
yeah, guy from Office Space, and the female lead in there is from a lot of stuff too. Like again,
yeah.
like the people in this movie, there are so many.
You recognize everyone.
The moment they come on screen, you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, them, I know them.
Yeah, a lot of character actors. You don't know the name, but
The
you
guy
know their
from Office
faces.
Space.
Yeah, exactly.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that with disrespect. It's just,
But so that segment's called the honeymoon, the RV one that I just mentioned. You've got the people can lick 2 segment, which is like an internet kind of like predator
Mm.
kind of approach, which is interesting this time, right? It's late 90s, so
yeah.
this is like when all of us are probably on AOL Instant Messenger with our screen names and shit. And then you have the third segment's called the locket. So you've got your
I actually really like that segment.
yeah, I think that was probably my favorite in terms of like seriousness. Like the RV one's fun and funny, but also still grotesque, and it's one of those productions that has like it's got a little bit of everything, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is sexy, it's fun, it's
Mm.
scary, it's funny, it's like it has that 90s charmness to it, which I was
Yeah.
pretty captivated by that and just shocked I hadn't seen it yet, which again is a very smug position to take, of course.
Yeah.
But I do love how there's like a tie-in. Not gonna ruin it for anyone that hasn't seen it because hidden gems, most probably haven't seen a lot of these, but like any good anthology, there's a kind of a purpose behind like why these are the stories being told, right? A thread of connectivity to a certain extent. So I thought it was a ton of fun, but I really enjoyed this movie. It was way more fun than I realized, and I didn't even know this was a movie that existed up until about 7 months ago. So
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a
Campfire
solid
Tales.
pick too, man. This is another great example of like a hidden gem. Like the first note I had was, where did this come from?
I was shocked. I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like,
You know where it came from is that John got a pickaxe and he started
Yeah.
digging.
Start mining.
you get those leather gloves on, right? 'Cause you don't want calluses. You can't have those. No.
But it's
Yeah,
like
dig deep.
it came out in the late 90s, but I'm pretty sure AI wrote it.
It truly. No, Matt, I'm not joking when you say this. I felt like this movie was made retroactively almost.
That's what I'm saying. And I don't mean like it's not that it's a bad film. It's like an out of body experience watching this. Not to mention like the star-studded cast, the timing of which it took place, but the fact that like no one knew about, like, this would have been up there with a whole bunch of like those old sort of 90s, late 90s Lionsgate films. You know what I mean? That like had a lot of good traction. Where did this come from and where did it go? You know what I mean?
think I do, and I think so much of what we got from the 90s I think specifically the 90s. Like, I would imagine that it was rampant always, but I think the 90s was the moment of reckoning around this. That politics, like internal politics around studio, around distribution, around production, around all these other factors that are beyond those of us that don't work in this industry day to day. I think that played such a role in what was successful and what wasn't. Whereas now you need a good social media campaign and someone who's crazy enough to be committed or creative enough to be outside of the beat. You know what I mean? Like now you can, an idea will get you there. Whereas before, like you had to have the idea, but you also had to have like mom and dad bring you there. And mom and dad were these studios and the production companies and all like
Right.
all of that. Marketing was so important.
And so I don't want to get into spoilers, obviously, because this is a
We
hidden
always
gem
start
that
off by
most
saying
people
that,
probably haven't
and we
seen.
eventually get into them. So I'm wondering where
I was
our
just gonna ask, like the ending. So if you're gonna watch this movie, pay attention to the beginning, and kind of what takes place after the James Marsden.
Yeah. There's a resemblance. Is that what you're referring to?
I just mean like the way that it wraps up.
It's like a character. Yeah.
But you should watch the beginning
Yeah.
to understand that. Yeah. Because I had to go back after it ended. I was like, wait a second. I had to go back and rewatch the beginning so that I understood exactly what, you know what I mean?
I will say there's like I wanted to kind of talk about this because I thought it was like a really poignant part of the film. But in that Locket story, did you guys ever watch Preacher, the show Preacher?
No.
I've saw a couple episodes.
Okay.
That was it. But it was, yeah.
It started out well. It kind of lost itself. But anyways, there is an episode that is just really well written that I loved, and it's basically the whole. This is a slight spoiler, but not really. The whole episode is based around, and you don't know it until the end. But it's a looping scene that just kind of loops constantly, and there's subtle differences, but not that many. It's mostly the same thing, just looping over and over and over and over again. This whole episode of the show, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? And then you find out that it's hell. This person's in hell, reliving the same moment over and over and over again. And there is that element in that Locket story, and I thought that was really sort of ambitious for like this type of a film. You know what I mean? But like I give it credit. Like I think it was a really I don't know that just stuck out to me. Like I'm not sure who the director was um of that story in the film, but it was a really sort of I think ahead of its time sort of concept where they had sort of how things were kind of repeating in that sort of
Yeah.
like nightmarish way. And you're like, why is this happening? Why is the behavior so weird? Like this person's watching something play around him,
Yeah.
rather than actually being in the moment. Like I thought it was really well done.
Do you guys, I don't ask this question about every film, but do you think there's a reason why this movie's a hidden gem and not a diamond at like Kamara Jewelers, John?
I think that the reason is one that we don't know and was rooted
Yeah.
in some bullshit,
Yeah, that's what I
which
think.
was like,
Studio interference
Oh.
or something.
yeah, I remember you. You hooked up with my niece.
Yeah.
Your movie's
gonna
gonna be
shelve your
tanked,
movie,
right?
yeah.
Like because at this time that could happen. Like that that happens every single day now, even this industry or not, of course. But in this time, I think the prevalence and the amount that was wielded was way more than now. Because now it's like, again, cool. I'll launch a campaign and get you fucked if you mess with me, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I don't know what it is. I wonder what it is, but I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I did too. I feel like there had to be something that happened. Like it didn't get a theatrical release because of something.
Yeah. Some
Um,
sort of internal politics.
But this is
that
a
would-
movie
yeah.
more people should know about, absolutely. So I'm glad that you got your pickaxe out and you used your leather gloves to uncover this gem.
Yeah.
Good pick.
All right, Matty, where you heading, buddy, for your first?
Okay, so I think we're gonna go a little bit darker here than the last two. Sort of change the mood a little bit. But my next film will be a little hidden gem that I put on the leather gloves and got the pickaxe out
Here
for.
we go.
And it's called Fade to Black.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
I really enjoyed this.
yeah, so this film I saw it quite a few years ago, and it always kind of stuck with me as I found like kind of like the little engine that could type of a movie. And I again couldn't understand why it wasn't bigger. But it basically the movie surrounds this character Eric, who is essentially like a reclusive sort of film aficionado, sort of savant of filmography that lives with his aunt, we're led to believe is his aunt, kind of takes care of her. He doesn't really have any friends. He works at a film storage facility
With
and
a lot of
pulls
dick
movies.
dickweeds.
Pardon?
He works there with a lot of dickweeds that are
But
not.
yeah, he works
Yeah.
with Mickey Rourke, which is
Mickey
wild.
Rourke,
By
yeah.
the way, Mickey Rourke's also in this movie. And sorry, the actor who plays the main character, his name is Dennis Christopher. So you guys
Dennis Christopher.
who
Yeah.
might remember him from the It TV movie,
Yes.
Eddie in the TV movie. And
Oh my God, that is him.
yeah, he hams it up quite a bit in this film, but it's
Yeah.
very theatrical, but it kind of like makes sense for his character
It fits.
because
Yeah.
he's so ingrained in film, like his whole personality is film. So it almost feels like even when he's emotional or upset, he's hamming it up, like he's overacting, but it's almost like he doesn't have his own personality. So something that I used to think was kind of like acting, I think was a deliberate choice, which is brilliant in my opinion.
Agreed.
It's
It's sad. It's very sad. But so it is, I technically you could call it a horror film, but in a lot of ways it's very much a character study. And I think a lot of people would reference when they think of like, let's take the Joker, for example, the character of the
That's
Joker.
the movie I thought of the most. Yeah.
You know, Joaquin Phoenix's version, and a lot of people reference
Yep.
comedy and they reference Taxi Driver and etc. I think that no one knows. I bet you 100% that Todd Phillips watched this film because
Dude,
I
totally.
feel like this is a Joker origin story.
Yes.
And for that reason alone, it's worth the watch. So yeah,
That's the movie that
talk
kept
about this one, guys.
That's the one that kept coming up for me was the Joker. I was like, this feels so much like that story. Like, I agree with you. I was like,
Yeah.
I kept saying to myself, whoever made that movie had to have been inspired by this one. They just had to have.
Mm.
There's no way you weren't. I've seen this movie before. I know you hadn't, John. So
Yep.
I'll let you speak to your thoughts on it. But I felt like this was the perfect pick for this category, the hidden gems, because this is one not enough people have seen. This was 81, right? So it's like, or
Yeah.
80.
It's actually
So it's
kind of
right
ahead
in
of
that.
time too. It looks really good.
It looks great. Right in
Looks
the beginning of the
amazing.
decade. I love the way they kind of flash back to his thoughts, like to where his current point of view is relating to the movie that's coming from. I
Mhm.
love the way they would flash back to that. The kills are great. Like the setups, the way that they're set up, like my favorite scene is when he and Mickey Rourke have their showdown and he's the cowboy with that fucking mask on.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like there's some really terrifying moments in this film.
Haunting, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth noting, and it's not a spoiler, it's in the trailer too. In basically our main character eventually snaps essentially and goes on a killing rampage, killing people in different sort of famous costumes and attires from famous films, whether it's Dracula and there's that specific cowboy that he's supposed to be, and I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, he dons
Dracula's
different
name.
costumes and kills people. So that you have that to look forward to. But yeah.
And I love that there's a moment he's watching Halloween. He's got that boss that has
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
Halloween poster behind him. Like, so you have some things that horror
Isn't
fans will
Dead
love.
and Buried too.
It's Dead and Buried in
poster.
Halloween. Yeah, yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, man, deep cut. That could be on this list as well.
That's
by
the kind of stuff that you love. Just save it for part 5, buddy.
Someone literally gets killed by a Halloween poster in this movie.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Technically.
Dude, I was all in on this though. This first time watch for me. I had not seen it, but yeah, it's this movie is it's not a traditional horror movie in the sense that it's super suspenseful, but it is very uncomfortable. It's sad, it's scary because this feels like it could actually happen to somebody if they are left so unattended to by the world. And so like this came out in a time, it's 1980, right? So you're transitioning from the 70s to the 80s. And this is a time we talk about those decade tweeners all the time. And it's so sad to see that there's not an infrastructure or a set of support resources that would exist to allow a person like this to thrive, right? Like you've got a bright kid.
Yeah.
He's very emotionally invested in everything he does. He cares. He's just incredibly misguided because he doesn't have like his countercultural obsession with being a cinephile is just not understood by anyone in his world, by anyone.
It wouldn't be at that point. Now it's understood. Everybody, like, film is so ingrained in our culture. Even, the average person has Netflix and watches constantly. Like, we're really ingrained in pop culture. But in the 80s, early 80s specifically, it was very much a new thing to be that obsessed, or not obsessed, but to be that into film. You had to be like, it was very niche almost,
Yeah. Like this legit would be a podcaster now. Like if we didn't have podcasts, you'd have probably more people running around dressing up like fucking Dracula eating their neighbors. Be like, well, it's not popular to talk about how much I love film, so I'm just gonna start chewing on people at the grocery store, I guess. But yeah, dude, this great pick. I really, really did enjoy this movie a ton.
Yeah, I really recommend this one to people. If you haven't seen it, if you love horror, especially if you love character studies, like you mentioned, Maddie, but like the Joker. But if you love the Joker and you haven't seen this, fucking get on it. And I love the Marilyn character. I loved her,
Yeah,
just
just
her
the
demeanor the whole time, and
She was specifically hired. She'd never acted before. She was hired because she was a known Marilyn Monroe lookalike.
God, that makes that even better. Because
Yeah,
she,
so the
she
whole
did
there's this
great.
whole like underlying like facade about the whole film. Like it's very, I feel like it's really sort of it like I've used this word before, but self-aware. It's very, it knows what it's doing. You know, like you don't just hire anyone to play a Marilyn Monroe lookalike, but they specifically have someone who doesn't even act and put them in the film. Doesn't have the best acting chops, but there's something like really there's a juxtaposition there that's off feeling, almost Lynchian deliveries of lines and stuff. That's you feel like it's intentional.
Yeah, and the vulnerability that she possesses, probably because she's vulnerable in more than one sense while making this film.
Mhm.
It's palpable, and you really feel for her, especially at the end.
oh god, that whole
You know,
setup of like they're supposed
yeah,
to meet at the movies. I felt terrible for both of them because he
Yeah.
took it so serious, and she was
and
like, "Shit, I
yeah,
forgot." Oh, man,
She was
I'll
genuinely
tear up.
sweet. She wasn't
Yeah,
no,
messing with him or trying to hurt
yeah,
him. Yeah,
no,
that's the other thing. Like you totally expect it to not be that. The
yeah,
character was written to be like, oh no, it's genuinely a kind person.
yeah. That movie is
yeah,
subversive in several different ways.
yeah. Great pick, dude. All right, Jamie,
All
you're
right,
number
so
two.
this is one that I just again discovered like 3 days. It might have been the same day that I watched Zombie High. This is a time, especially pre-Halloween, I get really into discovering horror films. I go digging. I get my pickaxe and I get digging.
You're
It,
talking shit.
it's because like
Now you're getting
you,
your
you
gloves
you
up to your elbows.
you get sick of the same old shit, right? And I know I'm going to be watching the same old shit in the best way all of October. So I start kind of digging for stuff I hadn't seen yet. And that led me to this one. This is called The Power. This is from 2021. And this is directed by Karina Faith, starring Rose Williams. And this is an interesting one. So it's about a woman who lived in a nunnery, and now she's kind of getting hired as a nurse, kind of apprentice, I think, like a trainee. And this takes place in 1970s London in a hospital. And I wasn't aware of the blackouts that were taking place in London during this time. There was like a miners' strike, and there was a big time oil crisis, which was leading to energy deficiencies or whatever,
Mm.
but they were shutting down London. They were doing these blackouts, kind of scheduled blackouts, and they went down to a 3-day work week to accommodate these blackouts. And this movie takes place during that time. Our lead actress here, Rose Williams, this is like her first soiree into the hospital. She just got hired, so she's kind of on thin ice with the boss, and she has to like work this one night during these blackouts, because when she gets hired, she's not working during the blackouts because they don't want to expose her to that at first. And then kind of she gets in trouble, does something that pisses them off, so they make her work during this blackout. And that's kind of where the main bulk of the story occurs. But she starts having these supernatural sort of experiences, living vicariously in these visions through someone else that she's not sure who it is, and starts kind of realizing something shady it has gone on throughout the hospital. And so in that night of the blackout in question here, we kind of uncover what has happened. It's a really fun ghost story. The atmosphere is fucking through the roof on this one. If you're into like hospital horror at all, this is 100% for you. I had a lot of fun with this one. I wasn't expecting it to unfold the way that it did. By the end, I was like, that was a little bit predictable, but I didn't predict it at all. You know what I mean? I guess it was just a little bit on the nose, but I was really impressed with this one. That's why I added it to the list.
Maddie, what were your thoughts, buddy?
So, like you said before, like first word that I wrote down was atmosphere, which is
Yeah.
exactly what you said. I felt this film really put you in where really wanted you to be where it took place, and I felt that when I was watching it, like the tone, the atmosphere, also the main character. Sorry, what's her name again?
Rose Williams.
Fantastic. I thought she was really, really, really good. She was given quite a heavy load to take on in this film, and I think she did really,
Agreed.
really good with it. I mean, it's a great little ghost story that definitely has a sort of dark twist that could be upsetting. I mean, it is upsetting, but regardless of that, I think from a filmmaking perspective, I don't know the director if this was their first feature. It felt like it might have been a kind of first feature. Was really good though. Like the tone, you could have it felt like early A24 type of vibe.
But yeah,
Great. The story, the atmosphere were all really good. I definitely had like sweaty palms, during a few scenes. Like,
Sure.
just like the tension. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
There
what I
was
liked about it.
we don't talk about spoilers, but I did have this written down that there's a scene at the end, and it's a bit of like an uplifting scene. I'll say this. There's a running scene, and it's this very moment. And I literally, when I was watching it, actually started kind of welling up. Like it actually, yeah. Considering the film, it was like that ending. Yeah, it got to me a little bit, like a thankful emotional release,
Sure.
kind of.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Did you predict that at all? Because I felt like I did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see where it was going.
Yeah.
I just
That
hope
was my only gripe is like I felt like it got a little too predictable there. Especially
Yeah.
right towards like the pre-climax. It was like, okay, you guys fucking now I know. You know what I mean? Which is like fine. It didn't affect the movie for me. It still made it like it was still great. I just felt like that was kind of on the nose. But dude, yeah, again, the atmosphere just for me, that's really what made this movie, and that's what made me put it on this list was just how it felt.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, how would I compare it to? It's like it's not a slow burn, but it's a like it puts you places and keeps you sitting there for a long time, so that your eyes are kind of constantly darting around. You feel really like grounded the whole time.
I feel like they do. She like the director does. You all good? All safe?
Yeah, everything's good.
The director does a great job of making you're taking that journey with her, with Rose Williams. Like I felt like that was my first day at that hospital, right? Like everything she's experiencing, you're experiencing for the first time as well. So I feel like they do a great job of putting you in the passenger seat for her ride on this. So you just feel like you're there the whole time. That's why the atmosphere is so great and so immersive. Like you really feel like you're in that hospital with her. So that's what made this movie for me.
Yeah.
John, your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, this is a great movie from 1984 about the Aztec idol that is a malevolent spirit.
Let's watch that one too.
You watched the wrong one.
Oh no, I mean that's the only one I watched. Then Matty, I'm so glad you asked because I legit like had prepped notes to talk about that film.
No
so I'm
way.
glad you.
Did you?
No, I did.
Watch the wrong movie.
I did. Yes. Oh, I watched. So I have not seen the movie that you guys just described. It sounds wonderful.
It
I'll
sucks
check it out.
we always do the years, and I
Yeah.
didn't do the year on that one. My bad.
And then Matty asked, like,
man.
"Hey, which power?" I was like, "Oh,
There's, like,
I wonder if he doesn't have it in Canada." And then I'm the dickhead. But it sounds great.
Well,
based
that
off
sucks
your
that you missed
descriptions.
it. Yeah.
Well,
Damn.
here we are.
All right. Well, then let's go. Let's go to yours. The Power. Great work by
Wait.
me. Fuck off.
What was the we had somebody on the show, we were doing an interview, and there was a snafu where they picked the barn and we watched the shed
Just
or
get
the
out of here. Yeah,
inverse.
they hated you for that. They were really mad at you.
Dude, like it actually was a
They were really. It was
moderately
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
It really was.
because I was like, "Are you sure you don't mean the barn?" Or I think it
You
was the
picked,
barn.
no, it was the
and-
barn. You picked the shed. and
watched
he
the
was-
shed.
He was
Yeah.
pissed. So
Well, here we go again. I'm good at this.
because I also had watched the shed because you told me that's what it was, and the guy was like, "Well, now I'm the only fucking loser here that watched the barn."
Well, yeah. To be fair, both of them could have
be
your
fair.
lawnmower in it. What what the hell?
They both like hold equipment.
All right. My number 2 could honestly also be misconstrued for a couple of reasons. So here we are. This is the 1978 Joe Dante film Piranha.
Yeah.
Not Piranha Double D or whatever.
No,
3
That's the one
double
with
D
Jerry
or whatever.
O'Connell.
Yeah. This is the Joe Dante film. So I actually had an aversion to this movie because of that remake thing. Or
You
that
had first seen Piranha Double D or whatever. Yeah.
I'd seen Piranha Double D, which
Yeah.
is basically watching like Girls Gone Wild
It's
with
like a softcore porn. Yeah,
it's not enjoyable
with a story.
to have on.
Yeah, and that snakes on a plane type of.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
honestly snakes on a plane with fish. Snakes on a boat, pretty much.
That was a movie that leaned heavily into nudity as well.
Yes.
You know what? There's not enough of in film, in cinema. Somebody said to someone else, "Tits." I'm like, what? Like, there's been plenty of that. Like, this is fucking 2020, guy.
Well, the 1978 version has a bit of that, I suppose. But so Joe Dante, one of my favorite directors of all time. We've got Gremlins, we have The Burbs, so many classics hailing from Joe. And this didn't have like a huge star-studded cast, but Kevin McCarthy's in this from the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
So there are some familiar faces in here. And there's a familiarity to the way it's shot because I just was so staggered by the fact that this was not a spring break movie
No.
with Jerry O'Connell in it. I was like, I thought this was going to be a micro version of that, right? And it certainly isn't. You've got this, again, late 70s going into the 80s. You have this group of teens that are messing around this like defunct military facility. They go skinny dipping, they're hanging out. And this movie has a great balance of levity, of humor, of scares, but it's a creature feature. And I
Yeah.
love creature features. Like, don't look too deep. There is a point here, right? Like, and it's a very obvious one, I think. And most creature features are just that. It's like, just don't think too hard. You're just along for the ride. It's fun. It's classic. It's easy to digest.
Yeah.
And the direction of Joe Dante, like the way he even instructs films to be edited and whatnot, like it just has that feel to it. And it's a vintage film. And I just enjoy the absolute. This is first again, probably 7-8 months ago. It was the first time I ever saw this.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't even know Joe Dante directed this original version.
Yeah. We have our buddy Dick Miller in there too.
Dick Miller's in it. Yeah.
The camp owner.
That should give it
Love
away.
that guy.
As a Joe Dante film. The fact that Dick Miller's in it, you can just assume
Exactly.
Dante had some hand in it.
Yeah.
I was reading so much about it though, and saw that this came out the same time or same year and time frame as Jaws 2, and the Jaws 2 team was like prepping a lawsuit. They're like, hey, you have pissed in our Cheerios and you are on the same lily pad and you got to get off. And Steven
it is
Spielberg,
really similar to Jaws, though.
Yeah.
it
Like
is.
right down to Dick Miller being the Dick Mayor. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's unreal.
Yes.
He's even wearing like a similar outfit.
Yeah, with the tie, the striped jacket,
Yes.
sports coat, as they would call it back then.
Yep.
So
The sports coat, indeed.
but there were some really good. I noticed some really good cinematography in this. That's obviously a testament to Joe Dante. Like, there's a scene where
Yeah.
Dude.
I have like
100%.
the character of Betsy, and she's being pulled underwater, and so you get this shot of like the camera's in the water. There's a lot of in the water shots in this.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, and it's like really murky water. Like, it's not nice blue. It's really kind of nasty. But
Budget was small too.
yeah, right. But it's not the camera in the water, and you see her being pulled down. So it's like the perspective of someone looking in the water and her being pulled into the depths. And it's just a really good shot. And you're like, wow,
Yeah.
that was really
Dude.
good. I love that. And then the whole scene of Paul being underwater near the end, like you're literally holding your breath the whole time you're watching it.
Yeah, dude, there's suspense. Like it is like the pacing is so well done. The
Dialogue's really good too, better than
Yeah.
a lot of films from that time.
Totally. And to what you just said, Matty, I think it is a testament to Joe Dante just assembling a badass team, right? Because you would talk to him about this kind of movie, and he would be the kind of guy that would be like, well, no, I had this guy doing grip and this woman doing that. Like, no, I owe it all to the team. And it's like, well, yeah, because you assembled and managed a great team. Like, he's a great project manager, and he makes great decisions and surrounds himself with the right people. And this is the outcome of that. You have this film was shot for like less than $1 million, and you have all this underwater shit happening.
Yeah.
In the late 70s. So there's less emphasis, I think, on story and more emphasis on all of that, like the production and pulling it off and making it happen and making it look right and making it feel right. And they delivered. I love it.
Yeah.
I
It was
love
my
the way
first
this
time
movie
seeing it.
kind of.
I'd never seen it before, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
I felt the same. I was like, how have I not seen this? What's wrong?
I love how you just have like two parallel stories going to. So you kind of have this back and forth between like him and the scientists that are kind of tracking down. You have like the drunken scientist kind of trying to figure out what's going on, which is leading, and they're upstream, and it's like leading downstream to this poor camp that has this big grand opening. But yeah, I love the parallel kind of storylines going.
Totally, dude. Totally. All right, Matty, you're number 2, right?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So my number 2, I have no notes written down for this. My number 2 would be Onyx the Fortuitous and the Tally
Oof.
Souls.
Dude, I feel the same way about the main character in this movie that I did in Fade to Black.
Really?
Like, I feel so sad for him, you know?
So there's many reasons why I put this film on our list today. One is definitely because I've become really good friends with Andrew Bowser, who actually plays Onyx in the film. He wrote and directed the entire thing. It's his first, I think it's technically his first real feature. But a lot of people might know him. He had some videos go viral over the years, known as like Weird Satanist Guy or Weird Arby's Guy. He kind of developed this character of Onyx, and I just always thought it was just a wonderful character. Very much like in the vein, took me back to like Napoleon Dynamite and that type of era of these sort of off the wall characters, or like even to SNL and things like this. And he managed to craft an entire sort of horror comedy film around this character, and it just was such a breath of fresh air, and something that I felt like it's not necessarily a hidden gem. I just want to speak more about a film made by an indie filmmaker who's doing what he loves and making really great stuff. And like you can just see that this film oozes passion. And it's got some great moments, some great practical effects, a killer story. Like it's just funny. I found myself laughing the whole way through it, and it also
Totally.
plays right into the hands of anyone who grew up loving 80s horror comedies like Gremlins and Ghostbusters and and Critters, whatever you want to name. And we get some star-studded horror royalty, and Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs are in it. And yeah, I think it's a really great and unique and original film. Kind of that's things that a lot of us are kind of clamoring for, is we want new ideas, and this is a new idea based on the love of old things, which is speaks right to our culture. You know what I mean? We love things of yesteryear. We want to see new things. So it's a nice way of blending the two, paying tribute to
Yeah.
it.
Dude,
Yeah. What do you guys think? I didn't even actually talk about the story. I should probably talk about what it's about. That would probably help.
give us the download on that.
Sorry, I'm not used to this. So yeah, it basically Onyx the Fortuitous follows a character that we know as Marcus, but he prefers to be called Onyx, and he's sort of again like a reclusive character who you're right, very much. I could kind of give you a similar opening to Fade to Black, but a character who's really ingrained in film and supernatural stuff, and kind of just trying to find his place in the world, and he's very kind of has no friends, but he ends up kind of through one of his niche interests, which is this sort of pseudo satanic warlock character, finds a group of like ragtag individuals, and they all kind of come together, become friends, and have to basically defeat evil. And I think it's just delightful.
It is, man. And
What do you guys think?
there's such a tenderness to this story and to this character. I actually remember Horror Hound a few years ago. I think you were the first person I heard about this movie from, and you're like, "Hey, this movie's gonna be coming out in a couple months. Like, it's amazing." I think maybe you'd seen an advanced copy of it, or maybe you were just familiar with the bits that led up to it, or whatever the scenario was. But I definitely remember you were the first person that brought this into our world. And there's just a genteel nature to this person who is very, despite being an introvert, is very actively looking to be a part of something.
Yes.
And you just feel for him so much. I just felt so set. Like, he's quirky and funny, and like he's on the spectrum, and he's just like such a sweet natured person that is just shit on at every corner.
Yeah.
And it's a moment he like comes back. It's like he basically works at Good Burger and then goes home after being just abused by shithead bullies. And he says something like, "Dear God, if you're there, like, I don't like this life. Can I have a new one or something?" And it's just,
No, it
dude,
actually
oh,
did the lump, right? And
I
there's
know.
genuine, heartfelt moments in the film too, like amidst all the comedy and the outrageousness. And again, I think that is a true testament to Andrew's capabilities, not only as an actor but as a writer. Like
Hmm.
and it's those that separate it from just being. It's that what's the film has a lot more layers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
There's
something
depth.
that's time.
Yeah. What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I actually had tried watching this, or did watch it, I don't know, a few months ago. I don't know how long ago. And I felt like it didn't hit for me. I don't know if I just wasn't in the right mood or mindset or what. Rewatched it this time for your pick here, Maddie. Loved it the second time.
Yeah.
So if you've tried watching this movie before and it didn't hit for you, maybe the humor.
It's a tricky thing too, because he's like Onyx himself, like the character is rather established in like the sort of YouTube internet world. Like Andrew's been
Yeah, I had no idea.
a long time, and so somewhat known in that regard. But if you don't have any sort of like understanding of who the characters, it might kind of also be hard to first adjust. Well, maybe not actually. Maybe it'd be better if you didn't know, because we didn't know like a Napoleon Dynamite S character or I don't know why I keep referencing that. It's just it's such a unique film, and I think it's hard for me to find anything to reference it to.
That's a good comparative, I think, though, because it's something that's approachable and has
Yeah,
a feel. It's incredibly quirky, but still has a very concerted effort to have a feel goodness about it,
Yeah.
right? Like
yeah,
it almost has like a Disney movie quality to it, where it's that like,
yeah, like Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
like all of the characters are caricatures almost.
Yes.
And so like that element feels like you're watching like a Disney movie made for teens almost.
Mhm.
But what's being confronted is not anything a Disney movie would ever venture
No.
to confront,
No.
right? Like and the and the vehicles that were being driven in and things like LARPing, like live action role,
Yeah.
like the culture here is so unique and interesting and niche. Like I don't know, man. I'm really, really fond of this movie. The humor does hit for me. I watched it, I don't know, a few years ago when it had come out, and I really, really enjoyed it then. And I had a great rewatch of it last week. So
Yeah.
I'm all in
Yeah.
on
My
this.
rewatch was successful.
Good,
That
dude.
makes me feel good. We actually, I think I had asked a couple of people to watch it, and they had known him from the videos before, and they'd watched it by themselves. And I don't know if it really hit for them either, but I remember when I was away at Mass MiniCon last year, me and the whole Canadian crew, like Gary and Sarah and Jason, all of us, we kind of got together and we're in this Airbnb. And I'm like, guys, let me show you this movie. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, like we're gonna have a movie night in. And like watching that film with like a group of friends that is the way it's meant to be watched. I'll tell you, because it's like you feed off one another. Like I can remember watching, I don't know, Anchorman or
Yeah, yeah.
40-Year-Old Virgin or whatever, or any of these like Judd Apatow films by myself, or be like, sure. But when you're in this sort of element where you're kind of everyone's vibing off of each other, it really makes for a good film experience. It makes you see things that you might not have paid attention to before, or react to certain things like, oh my god, that is actually hilarious. How did I never, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's a good movie to watch with friends as well.
Totally. Yeah. Not every movie is like that. Like The Power. That's not a friend watching. That's not a friend watching experience, right? Like that's a movie that you need to be watching to kind of let that get in your head a little bit. But Onyx absolutely would be a great friend viewing experience.
Yeah.
Or maybe The Power's
And
the
just
movie
for
you
like
didn't watch.
Yeah. Just go away.
and just for a
You're
light
fucking
up, from a lot of the sort of like retro stuff that we normally do, and for films this is more or less brand new, and
Dude, honestly, great pick. All right. All right, Jamie, last pick. Where we head, man?
All right, sir. We're gonna go to the year of my graduation, 1999. This is dude, this is a fucking good one. This is Stir of Echoes.
God, you're so old.
Yeah. So this is Kevin Bacon. I'm as old as he is. He stars with a bunch of character actors. You wouldn't know their name, but you will know their faces. Directed by David Koepp, who also wrote this one. He wrote a lot of shit. Co-wrote Jurassic Park.
What?
Need I
Did he
say more?
really?
And this is one that I watched. I remember watching it in the military by myself. Like went and rented it. Probably lonely. Like had no friends at the military
Oh,
at the
dude.
time.
I will cry at this moment. Please don't.
No, it's like early on.
I know,
You just
but
get there. You
still.
get to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Like who the fuck has friends in Cheyenne, Wyoming when they first get there? It's like me and some antelope. So I went and I rented this film.
Caribou coffee
Yeah,
with an actual caribou.
I went and I rented this film, and I remember being like really depressed by the end of it, and just like I want to return this tomorrow. But as I've watched this through the years, this is one that's underappreciated. You don't hear anyone talk about it. And it's kind of like a in between type of film. It's like it's horror, but it's not. It's more of a mystery almost than it is
Jacob's
horror.
Ladder,
Yeah,
little? Yeah.
ghost story. Kind of a man unraveling. But when you get to the reveal and the story and like what this was, dude, man, this fucking movie hits, and it hits hard. It's emotional. There's a lot of feeling in this movie, and what I love about it is the Chicago-ness of it. It's Chicago as fuck. It's like
Oh, yeah.
watching Shameless. You got the trains going by constantly. You have
Block
like
parties and
this
shit
weird
too,
neighborhood
right?
that like, dude, get me the fuck in this
Kid?
neighborhood.
Are you making
Like, just
dip
like
this weekend? 'Cause
yeah,
I'm coming
honestly.
your block
Is
party
there a
for
birthday
this.
party or anything I need to come to? Because like I'll leave my kids
Love
sleeping
it.
in their bedroom with my baby monitor. Like I love the whole vibe of it. Just like I could picture like if we all lived in the same neighborhood, that's what we would do, right? Like
100%.
collaboration of like I love it. Like going to the football
A
game.
block party, street party, yeah.
Yeah. Like the vibe of everything just just so good. So the general plot of this movie is a man, Kevin Bacon, lives with his wife and his son, and they go to a party next door. They leave the son sleeping over there. They have the baby monitor, whatever. But his sister-in-law does. She's like one of those like women who like has crystals and right does hypnotizations or whatever. So she hypnotizes him that night. He's like, "Fine, I'll do it. Whatever the fuck." And then after his hypnotization,
Very much not a word. Let's just pause this.
No, fuck that. It is a word now. After being
Under
hypnotized,
registers.
he starts having like kind of supernatural visions and premonitions and starts kind of seeing like visions of like this one girl and like what she kind of went through. And he's like, I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on here. I have no idea. You can tell he's kind of being led in a direction, kind of somebody from the afterlife is leading him to kind of figure something out. So that's kind of what this movie is. It's unraveling this mystery of this missing girl from the neighborhood, what kind of happened to her, and we kind of unravel that through the story. It's not too dissimilar from The Power, right? Like the way that reveal works. So to me, this one, dude, just fucking, it's 90s as hell, but it also is like really, really a great story to me. I love the way it unfolds. In the end, you're like kind of like crying and smiling and clapping and laughing all at the same time.
Yeah.
I love this movie and I love rewatching it. I rewatched it for this and just like it hits every way it hit before. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys thought.
Dude,
Great movie.
it's this one for me, yeah, this hits hard. Absolutely love Stuart Eccles. And I have like been championing this movie ever since I saw it. Maybe not right after I saw it. 'Cause I think I saw it, I was a little bit too young to see it because this film stuck with me almost, I think, worse than Pet Sematary, which was the first horror film I ever saw. So you have those like everyone remembers Zelda and how like traumatizing Zelda was. This movie had like a worse effect on me. I don't know why, but I remember where I was. I can tell you where I was when I watched it, the feelings I felt, like it just stuck. I literally have like, I think I have like trauma triggers from fingernails. Like I can't,
Ugh.
you know what I mean? But again, watching it as an adult and understanding all the nuances of the film, now you realize how brilliantly it's written and executed. It's so well done. And it's a very experimental film in a lot of ways too. Like all the sort of hypnotization sequences
There you go. It feels good to say.
in the movie theater are like really,
It's artistic
yeah,
and it's interesting and it's pretty, but it's scary and it's like the ugly thing you got to look at and you're like, whoa, what?
yep,
I got to look at that a little harder, but I don't want to, kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah,
yeah.
that movie does this.
It's very Hitchcockian in a lot of ways, very Twilight Zone in a lot of ways, cautionary tale in some ways. Yeah, a super clever, really well done film that I know for a fact came out came out the same year as The Sixth Sense. And The Sixth Sense is kind of the reason this film got buried.
Which makes sense, I guess.
There was kind
Even
of
though
a
they're two different.
right, but they exist in the same sort of plane.
Totally. Same plane, yeah.
That I don't know what it was exactly but basically I think what happened was that Sixth Sense kind of like did this and it just got more attention or something and Stuart Eccles kind of fell by the wayside. But it shouldn't have because it's just as good as a Sixth
Yeah.
Sense.
And
But just feels
honestly,
a little smaller, a little bit more claustrophobic.
yeah, you're confined to that neighborhood for sure. The
Oh
only
yeah,
time you're out of it is for that football game, and then you're right back in.
you're right back
You
in.
don't even get into it really. You see those kids fucking. I love that scene of those kids like carabining beer up to the stands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I just love shit like that, right? But yeah, no, this movie exists in its own little world.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel big, which honestly could be, but it doesn't feel big at all. Like there's no national sensationalized story of this missing girl. It's just all confined to this
That's
small
what
little
makes
like
it
group of people.
realistic almost.
Yeah.
Makes it more believable. Like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this, like you said, it's so Chicago. Like it's very, very authentic. The whole film feels very authentic.
Yeah.
That's why I found it spooky, is because Kevin Bacon's character, it's just like he's every man, right? You're like this working class dude
Yeah.
in this neighborhood that any of us could live in or have lived in.
Every man who wanted to be a musician.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
you have
that
that,
element
yeah.
exists too, and it does. It creates that countercultural. You know, in 1999, it's kind of a bold statement to say like, "Hey, you can have a life and be a musician and live in a city. Like those things can all be true." And up to that point, it was like, you better get a job, you better go to college. Don't even think about art, okay?
Yeah.
Like you must work in corporate America.
Yeah. And this speaks to the writer because he touches on a lot of things that really, again, I think this movie was written for an older crowd. And as we're talking about watching it as a younger audience, I don't think it hits the way that it does now. And he touches on a lot of things like with marriage, and I'm going to talk sensitively about this because everybody is different with marriage, but there's certainly a sect of people that sometimes will question, am I in the right place at the right time?
Mhm.
And that's where he's at, right? Like he's with the musicianship and like and he finds out that his wife is pregnant. You can tell like he's got a lot of hesitation on where he is, and like he kind of thought he was in a good spot and now he was going to start this music thing again, and then finds out that like no, the family is going to be your number one priority. And you can tell that kind of hits him to where like, okay, now I have to readjust my mental capacity to now be a dad again to a baby. She's dealing with knowing that he feels uncertain. So you're dealing with all this stuff that as a young 20-year-old, you're just not going to get, or as a teenager watching this film, it's not going to connect with you. Watching this in your 30s and 40s, it's a game changer to watch it then.
Maddie has
And
said
now.
this too.
Yeah.
Like Maddie has said to us when it comes to music, like for you, I'm paraphrasing your words, but I think what you said to us was like, "Hey, it's all or nothing for me. Like I have to be all in or all out on the music side because like it's an
100%.
investment." And parenting is the exact same way.
This is why,
The exact same way.
and we talked earlier about how we haven't played a show in 15, 16 years. It's because we focused on our kids and being a
Yeah.
dad and being a
Mhm.
husband. And now we just got to a point where we feel like we could maybe devote time to that now, right?
And be
Yeah.
like really out of breath really
And so,
quick.
right. But again, that's something you devote time to and you get better at. And then to find out that just as you start that, now you have to reset and be a dad again. So to get into his mind is something you wouldn't be able to do at a younger age. But now we can really connect with him as a character, which now puts you into this movie in a totally different light.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're fucking submerged into it. And then to watch him uncover the things that he uncovers, dude, this is a heavy fucking movie.
I think I can't name a better dramatic performance from Kevin Bacon.
I'm a huge Kevin Bacon fan. But yeah, I would say maybe what's that fucking movie where there's like a
There's a big one that you're gonna say it, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, obviously.
I can't think of the name of it. God
Hollow
damn it.
Man. Good point.
No, but I'll think of it. But either way, this is a movie I love, and I feel like it's under recognized. So I wanted to mention it. And this is Stir of Echoes.
Yeah, great pick, Jamie. Yeah.
Thank
Such
you.
a good one. All right, well, let me completely undo all the thoughtfulness that you just described with my last pick real quick here. We're heading to an entirely and morosely mindless slasher from 1983, form of the film Sweet 16.
Sweet 16, nice. Real quick, Mystic River is the movie I was thinking of, Matty.
Mm,
Dude, one of my favorite Kevin Bacon movies.
One Academy
sorry.
Award.
Sweet 16.
Let's not take away the light that Sweet 16 deserves with your Mystic River bullshit.
It
okay?
deserves all the light. Oscar worthy.
All right, so Sweet 16, 1983. Directed by Jim Sotos, Dana Kimmel, who is also in Friday the 13th Part 3?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yes.
Bo Hopkins, Susan Strasberg, Patrick McNee. This is again, endless 90s or mindless 80s slasher. I had not seen it up until again this year, and this was another movie that I was like, wait, this follows such a familiar formula, this follows such a familiar format. Like, how did this one get buried? Why did this one get married? Like, why is Madman a household movie being discussed, and why is this one not? And that's why I selected this movie. This movie is not it's not a good movie, and honestly it's kind of weird. They hypersexualize a 16-year-old, which is incredibly uncomfortable.
Dude, this movie is uncomfortable
like,
because of that.
the first note I put
Incredibly.
down is creepy movie. Because it's just a pervy, creepy movie all around. Yeah, it's from the beginning. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a slasher psychological horror film.
Oof.
Combines
There's,
kind
like,
of
shower scenes. Like, what the fuck?
racism, sexism, identity, vengeance, all of that
Yeah,
is
it's all
sort of
encompassing.
cocooned into one thing. But focuses around Melissa Morgan, who's a teenager, moved to this small Texas town. Her father's, what is he, like an archaeologist or something?
Yeah,
Which-
that's exactly what he is for some reason in the U.S.
And here we go down to Texas for some archaeology, right?
Yeah.
And they're overseeing like an excavation or something that's happening. So there's that whole thing, and then you have this
Yeah, there's local workers.
the
to, like, dig
local
up.
yep, and then you've got this racial thing happening there, which is pretty uncomfortable.
So are they doing part of their work on like an Indian reservation, right? So that's part of the
Yes.
tension there
Yes.
between the locals and the
There's a Native American contingent here, and then you have like basically these like creepy men in positions of authority.
yeah.
I don't know how else to put it other than that. And murders start to happen. I don't want to talk about this movie too much beyond the fact that like basically you have all of what you need. It's a slasher from the early to mid 80s. It is good enough. It's uncomfortable at times, like most slashers from the 80s are. A lot of it doesn't age well. But there are some fun kills in here, and it does, though we're not talking like I spit on your grave.
No.
We're definitely on the other side of the coin where there is, like, despite all of what we just described, there is a lot of levity in this movie, I would say.
Yeah.
And there's a funness to it. It's actually not dissimilar from last year I had a movie that was a kind of a similar pick. The kids that run on the track field, the director was from Youngstown, Ohio. Yeah, whatever that movie was.
Final Exam or one of those.
Yeah,
Final Exam. Yeah.
similar kind of thing where it's like, yeah, this is not okay, but I'm here for the kills and for the fun and the
Yeah.
slasherness. Like,
Yeah.
it's an 80s slasher, and it's fun, it's good enough, and it got buried. I don't know why, but let's unearth it a little bit.
It
What are your
might have
thoughts?
been the uncomfortableness.
You think so?
This also is when you realize, like, if this is even a fraction of what women had to deal with in the 80s, men like this, or even just now, maybe, like women are subjected to a lot of stuff that we can't even comprehend. And it starts at a very young age, which is
It
really
does.
fucking sad. As soon as women are old enough to be sexualized, they will be and can be by certain men, and that's kind of what this movie shows.
Yeah.
And it really is disheartening, honestly, to watch it now, to think that can even go on in like people's heads. And this movie, as fun as it could be, John, I feel like the reason you don't hear about this movie is because of that. I feel like it's just like it takes liberties it shouldn't take, and to watch a girl who's presumed to be 16 in the shower just feels unbelievably wrong. Even
It's
though you know
weird.
she isn't in the movie, like it just feels like, why am I watching this? I shouldn't be. And then
Then the ending.
the ending
Yeah,
does this thing where you're like,
speaking of
what
that,
in
yeah.
the actual fuck is this ending? Maddie, I told John before we started recording, I rewound like 6 times. Like, what did I miss?
He thought it was him. He was like, I'm too dumb to
Yeah, I was
understand
like,
the end
I'm
of this
just an
movie. I'm
idiot.
like, no. It's not you. It's the movie.
I kept rewinding, and I would get to the end, and oh wait, what again? And I would go back again, like, and then still at the end, I still had to ask John, what do you
They're
think
trying
about
to
this-
sleepaway
about
camp
this
you.
end? Yeah,
know,
but
like,
without letting you know what they're doing, and you're like, what the fuck? How am
Yeah,
I
I-
supposed to interpret this?
Yeah, dude.
It's
Even when this
Yeah.
one, this is one of those ones that I put on kind of while I was working, and I did have to also do the wait, huh?
Yes.
Like, where was the foreshadowing for this?
There
like,
isn't any.
there's none.
They referenced
Yeah.
a family member, and it was like, well, remember I mentioned Uncle Judd in the intro, and he had a business, and his partner was embezzling, and it's like, what the fuck? Where is
This-
all of this coming
Literally,
from?
where like I would literally quote Onyx and go, huh? Like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I realized that this was like probably the 3rd time I've seen this movie. Still had to rewind it fucking 6 times. I still had no fucking idea.
Listen, if you're gonna watch this film for any reason, it should be for the simple fact that our character Melissa has her own fucking theme song.
What is that song, by the way?
What-
Sweet Melissa. dude.
I thought I was hallucinating. I was like,
Oh, no,
all
I
right.
was- no, I
was
did, 'cause again, I was
Right.
working, so I'm like, her name's not Melissa, is it? Like, this is how much this had fallen off my radar. I won't lie, John. I'm sorry. And I was like, holy shit. Her name's Melissa. And they played this song like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, with like different
in the
lyrics.
movie.
Well,
It
boys,
reminded me of like The Last Unicorn, the music from this thing.
if you
Like a Disney film.
listen, real quick. If these plots were ironclad, okay, and these songs were not from the depths
do love
and the
that song.
bowels of Earth,
Melissa.
these would not be hidden gems, okay?
Well, no, you're right. That's why we have them. Yeah, that's why we have to put on our gloves and
Well, and
work.
sometimes
Listen,
there are thorns on what you're picking up, which is why you need the gloves.
sharp edges.
listen, every time we do this, there is always one. There's always one,
I'm
right?
glad it was you this time, John, and not me with benevolent.
Right?
Yeah.
We had
Nice.
Benevolent for him. We had Trailer Park of Terror for me. Now it's your turn, pal.
Yeah, now you're up, John. Fuck you.
What'll it be next year? It's Russian roulette.
Who's to say? I went with a highbrow film like Stir of Echoes, and you picked fucking. Sweet
Honestly,
Scene,
when you
perv.
said your last movie, I was like, God damn it. The order in which we're discussing these, like, I have to talk about Sweet 16 after this, like, literal, really well done film that I revere.
Fest over a film that meant so much.
And honestly, Matty, your last pick is also great. Let's just, all right, Sweet 16, really good movie. Matty, what's your last pick?
Okay, my last pick is the criminally underrated film Popcorn.
Yeah,
I love this movie so
I
much,
also
dude.
love this movie. And this movie is 90s to the max.
91.
It's
this
right
came
on the
out.
cusp. What is it? 91, I think it came out.
Yep,
Yeah.
right on the border.
You know, like I mean, I normally don't write notes for the films that I've chosen because I know them off by heart. But as much as I know Popcorn, it's still really kind of hard to describe what the plot is because
It's
you have
wild.
to kind of give away like what happens in the third act to kind of explain what the threat is of the film. Does that make sense?
It does, but yeah, I think there's a way you can like reference like what is happening.
Okay. So basically the film kind of takes place surrounding a sort of, what would you call it, like an AV club or a film class?
It's like a film.
Let's put on like a horror-thon in there. When this happens, basically like murders ensue under a sort of like supernatural-esque Phantom of the Opera style rock and roll early MTV era type of movie. And it's really fucking funny, and literally Scream stole everything from this film. At least Scream 2 and 3. The whole film class, the sort of dissection of film,
Completely.
all that kind of stuff is straight up anything from Scream was taken from this film. But we've got a really cool killer, really cool fun premise, some sort of party rock vibe of a film, kind of like has a bit of sort of Return of the Living Dead type of feeling to it, but early 90s. We do have like a sort of final girl character, and there's something that's sort of haunting her in her life that she can't really put an answer to, and she hopes that in investigating what's going on with these murders and everything kind of going on around her, she'll figure out who she is, where she comes from, kind of thing. I guess I don't know. It's hard to describe.
This movie, I discovered this movie.
Couple years ago.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you like immediately. I probably like texted you immediately, like, dude, you have to find this movie Popcorn. For that one, for me, this one hit right away. The intro reminded me of like Gleaming the Cube. Skateboarding through the campus and stuff. And I was like, dude, I am fucking all in. I don't even know what the rest of this movie is going to be. And by the end, of course, they're all in.
From the jump off.
Yeah. And then like the theater thing going on, and that theater-thon is like, I would pay $100 to go to one of those in Youngstown.
The setup is
just incredible.
You're in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you're all in like this group of kids that have to kind of facilitate the whole thing and like run the popcorn, and like the idea of it is fucking incredible. Like I'm all in on that.
Yeah, and the lead, Jill Sholin, she's the same from Stepfather, right?
Yes,
that's her.
Yeah. And she's our lead in this, and she does a fantastic job. Yeah, there's like a whimsy to this. Return of the Living Dead reference, I think, is a great one because it has that aura of like it's gonna get gross a little bit. There are gonna be some kills. There's a story that exists, but it's more about the people, like care about the characters. This movie does a really great job of like Sweet 16 does a terrible job of any character development of any kind. Like you don't care about the characters.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie, like you're there for them, right? You're rooting for them. You want them to survive. You want those two to get together, right? You want that one, like,
Yeah.
that's to me, I think, what makes a good film. And this movie is honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's a really good movie.
Oh,
It
she's
is.
the one
Yeah.
from Cutting Class as well, John.
Yes,
Yeah, Cutting
dude.
Class. Yeah,
Have you seen that one, Matty?
Class.
Buddy,
that one's grown on me. I hated it at first.
it may as well be called Sweet 17, quite frankly. But I mean, it's basically that
I
kind
was
of
really
movie. You know what I
hurt,
mean?
though,
Like, so Matty, you'll love it, dude.
Yeah.
Watch Cutting Class.
No, Cutting Class is a little less uncomfortable than that.
I mean, that movie is uncomfortable, but it's a
Brad Pitt was my main hate on that one.
yeah. Brad Pitt is
Also
in
Brad
Cutting
Pitt?
Class. I think it's his first movie.
Yeah, Cutting Class. I'm pretty sure it's his first movie, but either way, it's super young Brad Pitt. You should check that one out. It's
Did you ever see the episode of Freddy's Nightmares that was like Brad Pitt's like introductory acting role? I'm pretty sure.
No, but James,
I
have you
probably
been
have.
watching it
Yeah, I
recently?
probably have. Yeah, I've watched every episode
Yeah. Well, then you've seen it.
because it's on Tubi.
Really? Freddy's Nightmares is on Tubi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Done. Watch Popcorn, by the way, people.
Yeah. So that's Popcorn.
All right, Popcorn.
Amazing
We
pick.
got off topic, but Popcorn is amazing.
Yeah, amazing pick. So that is Popcorn from 1991. Great flick.
Yeah, if you
And-
listen to this podcast and haven't seen Popcorn,
You'll love it.
god damn,
Honestly.
you'll love it.
Yeah, you will love
All
it.
of these movies, they're all fucking. We took the time to chop up these mineral bits of films for a reason.
We've been like the least spoilery we've ever been, I've noticed. Like,
Yeah.
only
No,
throw
We're
caution-
learning. We're getting older. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are. We're getting older and wiser.
we're growing.
But Matty, plug your stuff, man. What projects have just released? Where can people find stuff? Talk about your great work and where people can find it. I know it's uncomfortable to do, but you've got great stuff. So where can people buy stuff?
It's painful to do. Well, right now, I mean, I say this every time. There's a lot of things I can't speak about because I'm under NDA that I'm working on. But you know,
Got your recent drop with Fright Rags, right? So people
Yes,
can head to
I'll
Fright
probably-
Rag.
did a drop with Fright Rags. We did a Silver Bullet collaboration. There are some new posters dropping fairly soon. I can't speak to it yet, but just keep an eye on my socials on Facebook, my social on Instagram at Matt Ryan. That's where everything is. You can sign up for my newsletter also on my website, workswithmattryan.com. You'll find out about drops, releases, all that kind of stuff. The store is shut down right now temporarily while I sort of navigate the implemented tariffs going on. So that's down at the moment. But again, if you sign up for the newsletter or follow me, I'll let you know when the store's back up and y'all can get your hands on some posters and stuff like that.
Right.
Any conventions coming up where people can find you over the next?
Yeah, I
few
got a
months?
lot planned for next year, actually. So next year there'll be in March, Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati, where I'll hopefully see you two beautiful men. And
We'll be
then
there.
in May, I'll be at Texas Frightmare Weekend in Dallas. And then in June, I'll be at Monsterpalooza in California. And then the following September after that, Mass MiniCon 4 after
And that's
that. So
in
yeah, obviously
Boston.
there's something in there as well.
Mass MiniCon happens in Boston, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's in Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's basically a new sort of how we like a physical art or sorry physical media type of show. That's basically it's a new thing that my good friend Jeff and Jessica have sort of built up that sort of showcases artists and their art, from film posters to vinyl soundtrack artwork to just art in general. It's very art centric sort of convention. Unlike kind of anything that most people have probably ever been to before, but it's a lot of fun and yeah. So it's something we're trying to really get off the ground going. And this past year that we just had in September was fantastic. So that's something that I really look forward to.
Awesome.
So shout
Yeah.
that out, Mass MiniCon.
Love it.
Yeah. If you get a chance to get your hands on anything from Matty, got a lot of posters behind us here that are his. Anything that you touch, Matty, is truly
Dude,
elite.
It's incredible.
You're the best out there, and
I love you guys. Thank you.
Oh man, we love you.
We love you, man.
Yeah, we're grateful for your contribution to the space and for your friendship, and thank you for doing this with us again. And we're gonna
Dude.
do it again next year.
There's gonna be
Oh,
part 5.
I honestly look forward to it every year. pleasure is all mine. So thank you for having
Oh, well, we appreciate it, man. And folks, keep an eye out, follow Matty on socials, and make sure you meet up with him at a con because he's incredibly nice. And you will go home with some artwork. Your husband, your wife will yell at you for how much you spend at his booth because you'll get more than you expected. You're going to go and you're going to leave with 7 prints, and
And you'll love them all.
you're going to love them all. But dude, thank you for hanging with us. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, my dudes.